Cameron Dick, good morning to you, and thank you for backing up after joining the panel on the coverage last night. Hope you got a little bit of sleep at least. Look, the LNP has won a majority. We saw that at the end of the coverage last night. Big swings against Labor in the regions, but also in the suburbs there, as we were talking about. What do you put that down to?
Oh, look, I think the panel's pretty well summed it up. I think some of the fundamentals were against us. We're a 10-year-old government, so that's a long time in government in Australia. Seeking a fourth term is incredibly challenging. And I do think crime has been a big issue, not only addressing the causes and the consequences of crime, but I think the challenge and problem for our government is it became an issue, particularly in regional Queensland, around trust. And I think in the end, regional Queenslanders did not trust us to address that issue. I mean, there was a relentlessly negative campaign by David Crisafulli, and as a political professional, when someone runs a good negative campaign, you've got to recognise that. But I do think there was an issue around trust which hurt us badly in regional Queensland.
What about that outer suburban vote? A 7.8% swing against Labor in those outer suburbs. Is that about cost of living?
Probably a combination of those issues. I mean, you just look at those swings, 5% in metropolitan Brisbane, up 50% again to the outer suburbs, about 7.5%, and then up 50% again, about 10 in regions.
It raises the question, has Labor been too focused on the progressive inner city seats where you're fighting the Greens and not focused enough on the outer suburban and then regional areas?
No, I mean, as an outer suburban MP, as the Deputy Premier and Treasurer, everything I did was always through the prism of Woodridge, thinking about my community, but also thinking about regional community, because there are great similarities in my experience between the outer suburbs and the challenges of people living there and our great regions.
What's the message?
That was always our focus.
What's the message to federal Labor, do you think? When you look at those outer suburban results, what's the message to the Albanese government?
Look, overwhelmingly, people in this country are struggling because of the pressures that cost of living increases are having on them. That's just the truth. Every poll shows you it's between 50% and 75% in every poll. And so federal Labor, which has done an amazing job on it, needs to be relentlessly focused on that.
Does it need to do more than it's currently doing?
Look, I'll let commentators and the Federal Parliamentary Party work that out,
but the Albanese government,
we need to focus closely.
Did attitudes towards federal Labor hurt you?
No, I don't believe so. This was really a really tough battle on state issues that had been going for some time and that crystallised. But as we saw in the campaign, you know, David Crisafulli had run away from scrutiny for 4 years. Every time he got under pressure in Brisbane, he went to the regions, which is no bad thing, but that was to escape scrutiny. And then when the media really put him under day-to-day scrutiny during the campaign, he failed, and we saw that collapsing at the end of the campaign.
But Anthony Albanese, was he a net positive or negative for you?
I think on balance he's a positive for Queensland. He supports us. He's got great investments
in the outer suburban areas too.
I think he's well regarded because he's a fair income bloke and he connects with Queenslanders on a range of issues.
So should Stephen Miles, now in opposition, stay as leader?
Look, I think it's too early. I've been reaching out to my colleagues and candidates. There's a lot of people who are feeling a lot of hurt. I have lost my seat in Parliament.
What are they saying?
Oh, they're just dealing with the immediate impact on themselves and their families.
Are they talking about the leadership?
No, not yet. No, people are just dealing with what's happened in their community and what's happened to their family. We're not seeking sympathy, but I know what it is to lose your seat in Parliament.
Yeah, I should point out to national viewers that was a while ago. You held your seat last night fairly comfortably. So will you be interested in the leadership?
I think we let the dust settle, David. We just let our party go through this process. We need to heal a little bit as well. We need to have a good look at ourselves. That's the truth. We need to reflect, you know, that great gap, that great coastal region between Gladstone and Cairns, those great regional cities that have always supported Labor. You know, we've lost them, and that hurts me to see that.
Yeah, how do you win those back?
I think we've got to rebuild trust. I think whoever is the leader, whether it's Stephen, whether it's anybody else, we have to rebuild trust with regional Queensland. I think we do it the Labor way, which is being fair income and honest with people. We say to people, we lost your trust, we heard it, we understand.
How did you lose the trust?
I think on issues like crime, I don't think we could demonstrate to people that we were not only addressing their concerns, but we were hearing them on that issue. And I think that's played out in a number of regional cities in particular.
Those colleagues you've spoken to, have any of them said to you, you should have a crack at the leadership?
No, not yet. We're just talking about the immediate aftermath and just dealing with the consequences of what is a loss for our party.
And the process from here, is it automatically is thrown open, the leadership?
Yeah, that's right. So our rules in the state branch, that means the leadership is automatically vacant, and then individuals will have to make a decision about whether they nominate, and then there's a process that will go forward from there.
Have you honestly not made a decision as to whether you're interested in the leadership now?
I have honestly not made a decision yet. I do want to talk to my colleagues. I want to hear from others first, and I want to just think through it. And I've got to think through that with my family, because this is a really incredible and intense task for us to rebuild trust over 4 years, to give ourselves a shot again. But we fought hard for 4 years. We fought hard for 4 weeks. We showed people what we could do, and that fight's got to continue.
Cameron Dick, appreciate you fronting up once again this morning. Thanks so much.
Thanks, David.